You're listening to Local Sports, live on Radio Castledermot, keeping the community together.
Yes, a very good evening to you. Welcome to Local Sports Live here on Radio Castledermot for our special Bank Holiday Monday sports show. We are going to try to stay as long as possible on Facebook for the match this evening, but if we do get cut off, we'll be heading straight over to Twitch. Yes, this evening we will be going live to St. Conleths Park in Newbridge for the Joe Malin Motors Senior Football Championship, Round 1, Group A match between Castledermot and Athy. And our man over there this evening is Thomas O'Connell, and we will be chatting to Thomas very, very shortly. But before that, John Phelan caught up with the Castledermot manager, Damien Hendy, during the week, and had a quick chat about the championship and today's match.
So I suppose Monday's match is, it's the first round of the championship. It's going to be, it's against Athy. It's their formidable team. They're up there with the top teams in the county. But we're looking forward to it here from a club perspective. We're still in the senior championship. It's the start of it, and we've always looked forward to it over the last couple of years, and it'll be no different on Monday when we go up against Athy.
That's great, Damien. And what's the form like in Castledermot camp at the minute, especially since we returned after lockdown?
Yeah, I think the form's been good actually. I think the lads have been delighted to get back playing football, and I think no different to any other year. It's nice to be playing during the summer. The long evenings, the fine weather. We've played a couple of games. We've trained away since we were allowed back to train since lockdown. And overall, I think the form's been good and actually been enjoying it. And I think that the weather's a bit nicer and stuff like that. So it's been going well. Yeah, it's been going well.
That's great. And can you explain to the listeners, Damien, how the championship is working this year?
Yeah, so the championship's kind of working similar to the way it did, I think it was 2 years ago. So there's 4 groups of 4. The top team goes, the top 2 teams actually in each group go through to quarterfinals. So the top team will play a second team in an opposition group, and the second team that finishes in the group will play a top team in another group. The third team will just stay, they'll retain their senior status. And then the bottom team, the team that finishes 4th, goes into a relegation semi-final. So the 4 teams that finish bottom in all of the groups end up going into relegation semi-finals and a final then. So yeah, it's a good format, and I think it's good. It means that every team gets 3 games, and you have a chance. If your first game doesn't work out, you still have a chance.
All right, that's great. And who are the other teams in our group, Damien?
So we've got Athy on Monday, Monstrevan and Clane then and ourselves make up the group. So a good group. Monstrevan are coming up from intermediate champions last year. Clane are coming good again. They've had a couple of good minor teams and under 21 teams over the last couple of years. So they're traditionally Clane are always strong, and they're really starting to show signs of coming good again. So and then Athy, obviously one of the strongest teams in the county at the moment. So yeah, tough group.
All right. And do we know anything about the Athy team that we're going to be facing on Monday evening?
I suppose, well, Athy would have a good few players would be representing Kildare. So you've got Niall Kelly, Kevin Feely, David Hyland, Pascal Connell. You've a few lads that have represented Kildare, so Mick Foley, Derek Mulhall, Mark Hyland. So they're strong. They're a strong team. They've been knocking on the door. I think they won the county title. I think it was 2011. They've been in finals. I think they were in the final 2 years ago. So they're a strong team. And it's local. It's good though. It's local. I think ourselves and Athy have a good relationship there as clubs as well. Whenever we play, there's always a good sporting game, good games. Listen, we've got a big task ahead of us, but we'll give it a shot anyway.
That's great, Damien. Thanks a million, and best of luck on Monday.
Cheers. Thanks, John.
You're listening to Local Sports, live on Radio Castledermot, keeping the community together.
I'm here with John O'Brien here. I just ran into him outside the stadium. John, a quick few words. Tough task ahead of the lads today.
Yeah, big task, I'd say, all right. And we're missing Emmett, I think, aren't we? Yeah. And that won't help. He's one of our star players. But sure, look at what we done to Naas last year. It can happen again.
No, you said that the odds are against last year as well, but you see Athy now missing Kevin Feely as well. He's out. That'll be a loss to them, so hopefully that might be a boost to the lads.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, and I hear that Killian Mulhall, he's out as well, and maybe Derek. I'm not sure about him, but Killian definitely is not playing. I got word there today, but sure, look, we have to play 15 of them. Doesn't matter, one is as good as the other.
No, you said it, John. The boys won't be afraid. John, fair play to you. Thanks very much, and enjoy the game. I'll chat to you later on.
See you, Tommy. Cheers. See you, lads.
You're listening to Local Sports, live on Radio Castledermot, keeping the community together.
Yes, this is the first time this evening. The excitement is building. We're heading over to St. Conleths Park to Thomas O'Connell. How are you, Thomas?
John, everybody, how are you doing? You're very welcome to St. Conleths Park in Newbridge. Beautiful evening for football. A little bit of rain earlier on, but the sun is out now and the pitch looks absolutely fantastic. This, of course, is the first round of the Joe Mallon Renault Senior Football Championship in Kildare. Castledermot versus Athy, a lovely South Kildare local derby to kick off the championship. Castledermot, I can see, are just going to do a huddle down the end. They're playing out, they're gathering down the town end at the moment. Damien just having a few last words. They're wearing, of course, their blue jerseys and white shorts. Athy are a bit closer to me here down the Kilcullen end. They've just finished up their rigorous warm-up, a little bit late to be finishing the warm-up. They're just getting their jerseys now, which are laid out on the field, all part of COVID preparations. I just have the Athy team here now. I'll just run through the starting 15. I suppose the most notable thing is on the programme, Derek Mulhall was down as full forward. And to see Derek up in the stands here, actually, so that's going to be a huge loss to Athy. Derek, of course, is extremely accurate forward. A lot of Kildare experience under his belt as well. So I haven't seen yet who's coming in instead of him. I do see on the bench they do have Pascal Connell, Dave McGovern, James Eaton. They have a serious bench there, so there won't be too much of a loss whoever comes in to cover him. James Roycroft is in the goals. They have a full back line of Paul Whelan, Mark Hyland and Darren Lawler. Half backs of Brian Maher, Mick Foley, of course, and Conor Ronan. Mick Foley, a very, very experienced centre back himself, and Dan Gray will be very interested in the battle there in the half forward, half back line. David Hyland and Brian Kinahan are the midfielders. They have a half-forward line of Liam McGovern, Barry Kelly, and in the middle, Niall Kelly, of course, one of Kildare's finest players. Full forward line, Fintan Lawler, Derek Mulhall will not be there, and Tony Gibbons. So I'm going to find out who's going into his high team as soon as they start up. Castledermot lining up as Daniel O'Keefe, of course, suspended from last year's championship, will be a massive loss for Castledermot today. Their talisman, for want of a better word, they do look to him on a lot of occasions, so they're all going to have to rally around each other. So in the goals, last year's Young Player of the Year, Shane Nolan, full back line of Tomas Murphy, Rob Brown and Ronan Dooley. The half back line, you have Brian Nolan centre back, and he's flanked by Willie Kelly and David Dooley. The midfield partnership going to be very important today, Gavin Farrell and Porrick Murphy. Half forward line, Conor Nolan, Dan Gray, David Keating. You're going to see David dropping a lot out into the middle of the field, getting a lot of that breaking ball, and he is extremely influential to this team. Dan Gray, as I said, up against Mick Foley. Dan's going to look to use that pace. He's darting pace. He can get through the middle. He's going to be very, very important to this team. Full forward line. Paddy Whelan, Gavin Keating, and the evergreen Anto Lawler is in there. They won't be found wanting when the ball comes in there. Three serious forwards. Just have a look through the subs now. Obviously, 30-man panel. There's a lot of guys on the program here that won't be played. See Hop Lawler, Gary Mulhall, Gary Hendy, a few guys down there in the stands. Johnny Flynn is a sub-keeper. Johnny, of course, former senior player with Wicklow. Barry Nolan, Kieran Phelan and Niall Dooley. They have Anthony Kelly there, who's the junior captain, so Anthony will also be influential on that bench, I can imagine, as well. A lot of Castledermot people here. As you can expect, there's a lot of protocols and everything, John, as we were making our way in. There was a small trickle of people coming in and just hand sanitizers everywhere. The stand is laid out with stickers for people to stand where they have to stand. Nice pocket of Castledermot people around the middle of the stand. I'm sure they'll make themselves heard.
Fair play to you, Thomas. That's brilliant. So the atmosphere is starting to build over there, even though there's not very many people allowed in.
It is, yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think having that announcer you can hear in the background now and having all the officials here still gives that feeling of a championship match. It doesn't just, we don't just think that we're here on a random Monday night. But there is an atmosphere building here. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of people expect the tie to come out of traps really, really quickly. Castledermot will have to stop that. Tie overwhelming favourites. Listen, as we've said a lot over the last couple of weeks, Naas were overwhelming favourites against Castledermot last year. Castledermot come up here, turned them over by 2 points. John, come back to me. We'll talk a lot about this game as the evening goes on. Really, really looking forward to it.
Great stuff. We're all excited. Fair play to you, Thomas. Talk to you very shortly. We're heading over to St. Conleths Park in Newbridge for the Joe Mallon Motors Senior Football Championship Round 1 Group A match between Castledermot and Athy. Our man over there is Thomas O'Connell. How are you going, Tom?
John, you're very welcome back to Newbridge. End to end here. Fantastic stuff in the first 11 minutes. It's a point apiece. Athy have had plenty of possession going forward. They've been slightly wasteful. That's definitely due to the pressure put on by the Castledermot defence. After the first point of the game came after 90 seconds, Kildare star Niall Kelly broke out to the right-hand side, got a bit of room and slotted it over the bar. This was followed up pretty quickly by Castledermot equalising point. A wonderful ball played in by David Keating, and Paddy Whelan, just as we talked here, a tie knock over a point. That point scored there by Pascal Connell, who came off the bench and has come off instead of Derek Mulhall, and that's who we thought might start. It was odd seeing him on the bench anyway. Just 2 points to 1 to a tie now. But just talking about that, Castledermot scored. A big high ball went in, and Paddy Whelan went up really high, took a lovely mark, one of these offensive marks. And of course, the reward for an offensive mark now is a free in. So you get a tap over free from 14 yards. That did make it 1-1. Castledermot getting a lot of dirty ball around the middle. They're going to have to make better use of it. You see it breaking down a tie here again. This man, Brian Maher, breaking through the middle. He's done this a few times here from the half-back line. He's going all the way in. This is going to be a point. That's 3 points to 1 to a tie now. That's a few times that man has broken from the half-back line. He's cut through the heart of the Castledermot defence. That's obviously a tie now. There's no long ball going into the tie. They're getting the ball. They're short passing, and then they're darting into the middle of Castledermot's defence. Castledermot have made a couple of short kick-outs that haven't worked off. Athy have got the possession back and they have turned them over. Castledermot going forward. There's a two-man full forward line in there. Gavin Keating has pulled right out here. He's on the half-forward line. He's hugging the sideline here just underneath the stands, just in front of the Castledermot dugout. He's all on his own here now. So they're kind of leaving him on his own out there, but Gavin, as you know, can do serious damage if he gets the ball. He's tracking back now towards the half-back line. There's a tire breaking from the midfield into the half-forward line. There's a really quick ball in towards full forward line, nearly an offensive mark, but he missed it. It dropped off the ground. He touched it on the ground to free out the Castledermot. That is the value of this offensive mark. If he would have caught that into his hand, he would have had a 20-yard free in a very scoreable position, but he missed it, and Castledermot now are back on the attack with Gavin Keating, getting the ball deep, as is his job since he came on. Brian Nolan going forward the ball. Now he's on the sideline here, just underneath us in the stand. Quick ball played in the middle now again. David Keating looking to penetrate through. He skips by one. Just lovely stuff going in up towards now. Castledermot are up towards the Athy half back line. This is where they need to make better use of the ball. David Keating has the ball back again now from Paddy Whelan. Castledermot are slowing it down. They've done this a few times now in the first 10 minutes, and they've lost possession. Athy have turned it over. Just when they slowed it down, they did lose that. Athy now if you just stay with me now, Athy have a very dangerous attack coming up on the half forward line. They've slowed it down themselves, but they have plenty of bodies coming through here now. I don't know why they've slowed it down, but it's 4-on-3 at the back. And here comes David Heil now. David has bursted through the middle, and they've played out now. There's a man who's on out here, but he's all on his own. Unless he's Superman, he's not going to put that over, so he plays it back out to the half forward line again. Here's James Eaton, another man that was named as a sub on the programme, but came in to start half forward line. Now Athy are slowing it down a lot more now. The score is 3 points to Athy, 1 point to Castledermot. Nearly 15 minutes gone here. Athy getting a lot of glory. There's a wide for Athy, that's their fifth. Getting a lot of glory breaking through the middle of that Castledermot defence. If Castledermot can just find that key ball up near the full forward line, they'll get a lot of joy. A lot tighter here than a lot of people would have expected. Come back to me soon, John.
Yeah, we're back to you within the 10 minutes. Well done, Thomas. Yes, we're going to head straight back there to St. Conleths Park to Thomas O'Connell. How's it going, Thomas?
Well, John, welcome back here to Newbridge.
You're listening.
Just after you left me the last time, they took the first water break. So after the water break, it was all about possession. There was 10 minutes here where Castledermot and Athy shared a lot of possession, a lot of slow ball around the middle. Castledermot had the ball in a half-back line. They had a lot of possession for a couple of minutes. You understand how valuable that is. Castledermot eventually, from the slow build-up, they got a break. Dan Gray broke in through the middle, turned onto his right, just about 25 metres out for goal, and he stuck it over the bar. Here's Paddy Whelan inside. It's just David Keating just pick up the ball. That has to be a penalty or a free in. The referee it's gone into the back of the net, but the referee's after giving a free out. He could have given that for steps. The Castledermot have actually won the short kick out. Here's Gavin Keating just out on the left hand side. I just fill in and everything that's gone on just after this attack. They've played it out now towards the middle again for this to build up. Now just to let you know, just after Castledermot scored that, they got them back to within a point of a tie, and that kind of woke up Athy after that. Athy broke straight up the field. A wonderful move. Ended up with the ball going. Here's Castledermot, another chance. Oh, that's a foot block, surely. The referee, they're screaming for a penalty. The ball's being played out the back to Athy. They're screaming for a penalty in the Castledermot full back line. That looks like a pure foot block. Even everybody there's people in the stands here looking at me. That surely should have been a penalty. The referee is waving away all of these protests. Athy are making their way up the field. So after Athy scored that goal, they broke through the middle. James Maher knocked in the goal. Athy got the next two balls and they scored 2 points. That brought it to a tie. 1-5. Castledermot 2 points. Athy really woke up. Athy on the forward here again. Now Kelly just played it back out to David Heil. Turned onto his left-hand side. That's another point for Athy. That's 1-6 to 2 points now to Athy. Athy are getting a lot of possession up front, and when they do get it, they are making Castledermot play in the last 10 minutes, scoring some lovely points. David Hyland broke through the middle as well, and he got a lovely loose ball out onto his right foot and just floated over the bar. The pressure is coming high up the field, but when Castledermot are breaking it down, they're getting a little bit of joy up front. John, it's tough out there. This is tough. There's heavy hits going on, as would be expected in Castledermot versus Athy. There's a break here now. It seems there's an injury. Castledermot lads are just going to get their breath here now, because it's been an absolutely mental last 10 minutes since that. It was amazing just after the water break. Everything was slow and it was all about possession, and then it just went bang. So the tie 1-6, Castledermot 2 points. There are 28 minutes gone here. A few minutes added on for that water break. Castledermot back on the attack. John, next time you come back to me half-time, hopefully better news.
Okay, fair play to you. Thanks, Thomas. Yes, we go back over here for half-time analysis with Thomas O'Connell. How are you, Thomas?
John, not too bad. Welcome back to Newbridge. It's half-time here, and the score is Athy 1-7, Castledermot 3 points. A tough first half for Castledermot. They did get a lot of possession, but Athy, tough tackling team. There was a lot of ball bouncing out of Castledermot players' hands from the tackles coming in from the Athy players. I suppose since I was last talking to you, Athy have obviously knocked over a point, and Castledermot have also knocked over a point. Castledermot's point coming from Pádraig Murphy free after some great work from Paddy Whelan and Dan Gray again. Paddy Whelan's getting a lot of ball in the full forward line. He's a tough man. He gets the ball into his hands. It's hard to get it off him. Castledermot will look to utilise that in the second half. Just after Castledermot scored the free, similar to their second point as well, Athy went all the way up the field. Another great breakthrough middle by that wing back Brian Maher, fantastic player, getting a lot of success straight through the middle. He played a long ball from 25, 30 yards out. A Athy player caught it. Offensive mark, but he didn't put his hand up, which I'm pretty sure you have to put your hand up to call for these marks. Referee, as soon as he caught it, blew it and gave the free. Castledermot lads had to back off. Not too sure about that myself. I think as he was getting up, he might have looked to play on, hadn't got his hand up looking for the mark. From the resulting free, Niall Kelly stuck it over. So Niall is causing a lot of damage, as you can imagine, from the half forward line as well. Castledermot, I know, I can imagine now they'll be talking down there. They're down there gathered at the town end as they were before throw-in as well. I can imagine Damien will be telling the lads, they know what you're doing as regards possession. Just have to find a way through the middle. Gavin Keaton is also picking up a lot of ball in that deep position he's taken up just underneath us here in the stand. He'll be over the far side now in the second half. I'd imagine he's going to stay around the middle there, picking up a lot of that dirty ball as well. David Keaton as well, playing awesome, doing very well. Gavin Farrell, tough job in the middle of the field. That's a tough high midfield. Gavin is getting a lot of good ball as well. A few positives from Castledermot in the first half. They're doing all right. Athy have put over some fantastic scores. They were made to work for them scores. They very nearly scored a goal at one stage, about 3 minutes before half time. The ball broke down. The ball broke down to the Athy corner forward, and Castledermot guys were all over him, but he managed to break free. He kicked it about 15 yards wide, and it looked like it was easier to score. It was a big let off for Castledermot. That goal would have went in. It would have been lights out. 1-7 to 3 points here now. Castledermot aren't out of it, but they really need to start the second half, hit the ground running, try get a couple of scores, try really attack this Athy half back and full back line. Really get at them, make these guys work. See Michael Foley there, centre back. Dan Gray has moved into full forward line. Michael Foley seems to be picking up a lot of ball in between the full forward and the half forward line of Castledermot. He's picking up the loose ball and he's clearing it out. Castledermot look to maybe shore up that middle as well and try to pick up some of that ball that Michael is picking up. But listen, come back to me a couple minutes into the second half. I'll give you another update. Hopefully it'll be better news.
Fair play to you, Thomas. Well done. Thank you, my friend. We're going to go straight back over to Newbridge. Thomas O'Connell standing by for an update on the match. Thomas.
John, you're very welcome back to Newbridge, and I wish I would have better news, but it's all a tie here since I was last talking to you. The current scoreline after 11 minutes into the second half is a tie 3-8, Castledermot 5 points. Athy got that big breakthrough of that second goal. They had a free kick just over the 14-yard line, just near the sideline, and it looked like it was travelling over the bar, and then it hit the upright, came down, and the full forward was waiting there for the ball right underneath. He got lucky because Castledermot on either side of him just dropped straight into his hands, and he buried it past Conor Nolan. Absolutely no hope. Castledermot went up the field then, and Gavin Keating got a great mark out on the sideline, and he won the mark. He played it really quickly all the way over to the other side of the pitch. He worked his way himself. He followed the ball all the way around. He got the return pass, didn't even think about it, stuck it over the bar. That was kind of settling Castledermot down a little bit, even though the goal was a hammer blow. Athy went straight up the field. They got the ball in on the left-hand side. Athy are now shooting into the town end. People know that's towards the clubhouse. Athy corner forward got the ball, pushed in, got by about 3 Castledermot players and buried underneath Conor Nolan. Absolutely no chance. There's another point now for Athy. That's a tie 3-9. Castledermot 5 points. Castledermot's 5th point there came from David Keating. Another kind of something similar to Gavin the way he got the ball. He didn't think about it. He just shot from range. He was just inside the 45-metre line shooting into the Cullen end. Big high ball, snow on it coming down, dropped it just over the crossbar. Fantastic point from David Keating. Castledermot get a bit of glory there from those long range points. Here's David Keaton now pushing through the middle. He's over the 40. He's going to try another one of these shots now. Just outside the 45 great score, David Keaton. That's similar again. That's 3 points now Castledermot have scored, and they're taking their shots from range. So that's something I might think about now, because I'm not getting a lot of joy in the full forward line. Paddy Whelan has really been well marshalled in the second half after he had a good first half. Gavin Keaton has now gone back into the full forward line. He's a lot higher up. He's looking for that ball out underneath the stand. So those 3 points again were from distance. These goals are an absolute hammer blow to Castledermot. Athy, very, very strong. They're very strong. They're good when they get the ball. They know exactly what they're doing, but they are very direct. They're looking to get the ball into the corner and to work it around. Athy now have the ball coming out of the half-back line. Pressed by Gavin Keating. Gavin is following full back across the field. Now Castledermot needs to get this high press if they want to get any hope of getting back into this game. It's going to be extremely difficult. The water break, I'd say, is about a minute and a half away. Castledermot could have done with the water break about 6 or 7 minutes ago when Athy got those couple of goals. Athy now are absolutely flying forward. Now Kelly out on the wing. Niles run, plays it back inside. Here comes James Eaton through the middle. Kind of fouled, but not really, and it's gone over the bar. Another point for Athy. So he was right to carry on there because he was fouled. He knocked the ball over the bar. Now that's the big 10 for Athy. That's 3-10 to 6 points to Athy. Just coming up to 14 minutes gone. As I said, the referee will more likely call a water break now, and that will take up 2 minutes. Castledermot under serious pressure here. Athy extremely strong going forward. Athy have their sights way down the line in this championship. So it's a pretty good start for those guys. Come back to me soon, Fuzzy. We'll give you a better update.
Well done, Thomas. Thanks for that. Thank you. How's it going over there now, Thomas?
Well, as you say, nothing going right for the lads here. The score is a tie, 3-12. Castledermot 1-6. As you'll notice, they have scored a goal. Hang on, and now there's a big long ball into Paddy Whelan. He's looking to get. Paddy's won the ball. He's nearly taken out. Paddy's chance of a goal. He's blasted over the bar. He has his hands on his head, Paddy Whelan. That was a big chance of a goal there. He did really, really well to get between the two full-backs. He was isolated up there. He got the ball, drove it over the bar. That's another point. That's 3-12 to 1-7 now. Athy, some scintillating attack. There's no two ways about it. Some of the movement of the forwards is absolutely fantastic. Extremely impressive. Castledermot goal coming from Dan Gray. Dan got the ball out here just underneath the stand, 30 yards out on the sideline, and he just decided he had enough. He was going to do it himself. He ran right at the heart of the Athy defence. They tried to block him down. He looked like he was fouled as he went into the player, but he absolutely barreled his way through. Very, very strong as Dan. Barreled his way through. There's a point for Athy outside the right boot, David Hyland. That's a wonderful, wonderful score. If they saw that in Crow Park, that is a fantastic score. I'd say Dan broke through. He got through a couple of Athy players. The ball kind of fell onto his left foot, and he drove it into the bottom right hand corner of the Athy goalkeeper. That was a bit of a boost to Castledermot, because before it they had won 2 lovely marks from Gavin Farrell. Gavin had managed to isolate himself and won a couple of fantastic. Here's Anthony Lawler going forward now. They're just breaking forward again. This is really encouraging considering the score. Castledermot, they'll take a lot of positives from this little spell now, because they have moved the ball very, very well. Gavin Farrell's marks really kind of got Castledermot back into the game. The water break happened there just below me, and I could hear the Athy players talking to each other, and the big message coming from the Athy players was, don't let Castledermot win this half. Don't drop the intensity, keep the discipline. That was the message coming from the Athy sideline. And Castledermot obviously have got a couple of scores. They have a free now from Gavin Keating as well. He's about 40 metres out. He's over on the far side from the stand, shooting into Kilcullen, and he's taking this off the ground now with his right foot. That looks like a good score. That's over the bar. Good man, Gavin. That brings it 1-8 to 3-13. And listen, that scoreline 3-13 to 1-8. It's obviously not pretty, but there's a lot of positives in the last 10 minutes the Castledermot are going to take for this. They have another couple of matches in this Group A. Big matches coming up over the next few weeks. Willie Kelly just went up, and there's a wonderful mark from the Athy player, which he didn't. He's going to throw it up actually, and rightly so. The Athy players or the Athy management were screaming there for a mark, but he didn't put his hand up to claim the mark, and I think that's going to be very confusing for a lot of people. The referee now has blown it up because he held the ball on the ground. Very, very good refereeing. He's going to throw the ball up here between David Hyland and Gavin Farrell. David Hyland wins that cleanly. Charging through the Castledermot players, and that's absolutely a free kick to Castledermot. He's holding on to the ball. The Castledermot players are all around trying to wrestle the ball off, and it's good intensity from Castledermot. That was absolutely a good decision again by the referee. He was charging through the Castledermot players. Gavin now, he's looking around him for options. Brian Owens on the far side takes up the ball around the middle of the field. They're looking for options again now, Castledermot. They really have built up this kind of second half just after the water break. Castledermot will take a lot of the push in the back again. The referee plays on for advantage. Gavin Keaton will take up the ball around the 45, and as I said, Castledermot played a lot of good stuff in the second half of the second half. They're playing the ball around nicely, and it's not. And Athy has they're still shouting themselves. They don't drop the intensity. They haven't dropped the intensity. It's just good football from Castledermot. Gavin Farrell's going to take on this shot now from the sideline. That's just after drifting wide. He was right to take it on. He had nobody around him, but unfortunately the angle was a little bit tight, and it just drifted past that left post. Castledermot are going to look now to high press again. Don't let Athy out easily with this ball. Once Athy get a run, they're moving up the field fast, quick football. That's bringing in a few players, fresh players off the bench. They've just continued the same intensity that Athy have had. Castledermot have matched them now in the last 10 minutes. That's extremely impressive. Good stuff from Castledermot. They've dug deep. They could have easily put their heads down and just forgot about this second half, but they haven't done that. They've got a couple of scores. That'll really help them even come the end of this game, no matter what the score is, going into the next few weeks. Damien, I imagine, will be focusing on this period when they play some really good football. Good mark. There's another baller, a free Athy man out now on the far side. Just stay with me now. We'll see this Athy attack as they're moving up through the middle. Mark Hyland plays up to David. Come back in, and Niall Kelly now is taking the ball, and he's played it in towards the full forward. He's won that. That's a fantastic, surely a free out. Fantastic win there by Gavin Farrell in the back. He sound injured now. He was very, very brave to go towards. That was a 50-50 ball, and he launched himself. That was fantastic. Referee will take a few minutes now to let the Castledermot man gather himself. Fuzzy, you want to come back to me? There are 29 minutes. There's a minute left here, but there definitely will be 2 minutes added on for a water break. You want to come back to me for a full-time round-up here in about 5-6 minute, so I'll give you the full time.
Yeah, great stuff. Brilliant, Thomas O'Connor. Thank you.
You're listening.
15 minutes of that second half. But they put a lot of pressure on. They got some really, really good scores. Gavin Farrell really stepped up in the middle. He won a lot of really, really good marks that would have set the tempo for the lads going forward. Gavin Keegan won a lot of frees, knocked over a lot of really good scores. Castledermot are going to take a lot of positives out of this. John, I don't know what you thought of the reports coming in there, but Castledermot really, really bounced back.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought the whole thing look from the beginning of the match. I just thought we played so well. We came back in the second half. They got them 2 goals. Probably were a killer, Thomas, were they?
Those goals were an absolute killer, as you said. It really, really early in the second half. The bit of luck about that second goal where it dropped down it right into his paws. Even the third goal that they got, the way he worked across, it did snake its way underneath Conor Nolan's body. So they didn't take those 2 goals out. This game could have been a lot closer. Athy didn't drop their intensity or anything. I mean, they kept driving each other on the field, so it wasn't like they let Castledermot back into this game. This was a deserved way back into the game for Castledermot. They really dug deep. Listen, there's a lot to go on the championship. Yeah, Castledermot, Monasterevin coming up, and then of course to have Clane. The big news, of course, reverberating around Kildare last night and this morning as a Guards Championship was that performance by Clane against Monasterevin. A very, very impressive performance by the Clane men against last year's intermediate champions. So Castledermot are going to be looking at these games. These are extremely important games that they have coming up, targeting Monasterevin next. They're just still out in the field now. Damien's having a chat with them, and it's really good to know that in the middle of that now, in the middle of all them, it's not going to be all negative. They're not going away from here now after have been beaten by a really, really good Athy team. This is a serious outfit. This Athy team. They have their eyes on taking that trophy out of this place up here in Newbridge. Hasn't been out here in 9 years. Athy were the last team outside of the town of Newbridge to take that trophy back. So they really have their eyes on that. They had some really, really impressive performances. Castledermot had impressive performances themselves. Paddy Whelan and Dan Gray up front really fit themselves really well. They were fantastic, winning a lot of ball. They put that high back line under a lot of pressure when they got them. It didn't make it easy for them at all. David and Gavin Keaton doing what they always do, working very hard, winning a lot of ball. That slow build up from the half back line, you can see it. It's like they're doing it for a reason. They're losing to open up those spaces coming through the middle, and it did work. This Castledermot team going forward, it's going to be really interesting to see how they got on. The best part of this, John, apart from the scoreline, is the positives they can take out of the performance of the last 15 minutes. Athy broke off in the last couple of minutes and did knock over a couple of scores. There's a lot of tired bodies out there. But again, we do have the next few weeks up forward. This Monasterevin match now can't come quickly enough. These lads are going to hopefully continue on the form that took in the last 15 minutes of this game into the next game.
Fair play to you, Thomas. We really, really appreciate that. Was brilliant commentary this afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care getting home there, my friend.
Glad to do it. Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Well done. Talk to you soon.